Hey, BassGeek here. Are you struggling with bait selection? Well, I've got a bait that you can rig so many ways, it's gonna make that simple. Geeks, you know I love to keep things simple, and I love a bait that can be used multiple different ways. I mean, trying to remember what beaver, what crawl, what crank works best, when and where, it can literally drive you mad. But like I said, I love to find versatile baits. Baits that can be rigged a lot of different ways and used for a lot of different things. It keeps me from carrying a lot of baits, and you shore anglers I know appreciate that. That's why I love to find versatile baits, like I said. Now, I've been toying with this bait for a while now and rigging it a lot of different ways. Well, I'm gonna show you the 8 ways you can rig this bait from JBros. The first way I like to rig this has probably caught more bass than any 3 rigs combined. It catches bass year-round on any body of water, and it's probably mine and a lot of other people's go-to rig, and that's the Texas rig. This is the Jester from JBros. Now, this is a very unique color. This is the Joker. You can see why. This is their 4.25 inch, and I like to rig it on a 5/0 EWG hook. This thing has got some girth to it, geeks. So our next rig is really a co-angler's best friend. If you've ever fished tournaments as a co-angler, you better have this rigged up. It has probably cashed more checks for co-anglers than any other bait out there. And it's one of my very, very favorite ways to rig the Jester from JBros. This is the black and blue, and this is on a shaky head. Now, this is from Brazzalo Custom Baits. I love that little indentation right there. It keeps the knot protected around cover. This next bait is one of my favorite baits to throw. Now, I hate to throw a Carolina rig, so this takes the Carolina rig place. I can fish it from shallow. I can fish it through any amount of cover there is, and it's a moving bait, so it gets great reactions. So number 6 has got to be a swing head, or as I call it, a wobble head. This color is pumpkin seed. The wobble head that I like to use is the Omega wobble head, and the reason why is because I can interchange the hooks. I can put whatever hook I want on here. Now this hook a little bit big for this 3-inch Jester, maybe go with a 2/0, but I like the EWGs because what happens as it's coming through is it really gets a lot of wobble. Like it, hate it, forward-facing sonar is probably here to stay. It's not going anywhere, at least for the recreational guys. And one of my favorite ways to fish with that is a jig head minnow. So I make a few modifications to the Jester when I'm fishing it as a jig head minnow, but I'm telling you, this has become one of my favorites, and it's one of the things that I've really not been wanting to share with you just yet. So with a very slight modification, now you can leave the other 2 on, especially if you're fishing around bigger bait fish. It makes a bigger profile, or if you're fishing around brim, you can leave all the tail on. It's perfect. This is blue herring, and the jig head minnow is number 5. All right, we still got 4 more ways to rig and a bunch of colors that I don't have rigged up that I'm gonna show you real quick. But first, I wanna talk to you about BIA insurance. Now, geeks, I don't bring you things that don't help me. And BIA insurance, they insure both of my boats. It's Boater Insurance Agency. You know what that means? It means they don't do houses. It means they don't do cars. It means they do boats. And they know boats and boaters better than anybody on the market. So what I want you to do is right here is their website. Make sure you go check it out. It's simply BIA.us. Go get a quote, see what you think about them. They are going to cover you if you're fishing tournaments, if you're recreational fishing. There's different types of coverage that you need. And if you get out there in a tournament, or like me, out here doing YouTube, and you have a mishap, you might not be covered. BIA Insurance, they know the difference. Let me show you these colors. So currently the Jester comes in 2 different sizes. That is the 3-inch and the 4.25. Now, these are 2 of the colors that I don't have rigged up there, but these are 2 incredible colors. So let's talk about this one right now. This is Junebug. Now, this color didn't have a color on the bag, but this is a great little color. I love to flip this. Now, they do have all of these colors in the 3 and the 4.25. And a little birdie has told me that there's a rumor that there might be a smaller size coming out for you crappie anglers. I'm actually pretty excited about that because I like the smaller size during the winter time for scoping smallmouth. I don't even know if I'm allowed to tell you that, so, you know, whatever. But if I ain't, I'm sorry, Larry. This color is green pumpkin purple. All right, geeks, so number 4 is using this thing as a trailer. Now we're going to talk about this a little bit more as a category than we are as a one trailer bait. And one of the ways I love to use this is a 4.25, and this is baby D bass. Look at that on the Omega Alpha Buzz. That thing is awesome. And you talk about keeping a buzz bait up and fishing it extremely slow, it does. The thing's great on a chatterbait too, and that is emerald shad. Now, also on the chatterbait, you can do this. You can turn it sideways so it gets a lot of action coming down through there. Or if you want to keep it higher in the water column, turn it like I had it on that chatterbait and keep that bait higher, whether you're fishing it over the tops of grass, wood, or whatever. This is on a Yum bone color spinnerbait. Now I've made some modifications to this, took off the middle blade, but I love this white Jester on a spinnerbait. Last but not least, it's just any jig will work. You know, I know I showed you the swim jig from Omega. Well, this is an Angler tungsten ball head jig, and this is green pumpkin black flake. So I can't take credit for this. Like, I've used this rig a lot of times. I've done a lot of videos on it. A lot of the stuff I've talked about during the summertime, using this as a magnum, but I've been using this rig for quite some time. And this rig is one that fits both sizes. So you can use the 4.25 or the 3-inch Jester. And this color is one of my favorites, Okeechobee Crawl, on a Nekko rig. And that's number 3. So you want to catch numbers of bass year round? That's what this rig can do for you. You can rig up a whole bunch of stuff. Thought I was getting bites right there, maybe coming across some rock, or there's a lot of wood in here. But you can fish this year round, no matter what you're doing, no matter what type of lake you're on. This is one of the probably most dominant finesse rigs that there is. You know it's got to be a Ned rig. I've got this Jester rigged on an 1/8 ounce Angler tungsten rig. This is cinnamon apple, and it's deadly for those smallmouth when they're on the bed or when they're not. And the Ned rig has to be number 2. Number 1, my most favorite way to fish this bait, and especially the small one. Now, if you're around bigger bait fish, you can fish the big one, especially the 3-inch. Now, if you're around bigger bait fish or bluegill, you can fish that 4.25. It's going to get your big bites, but you want to catch a ton of bass, go to doing what I'm doing, flipping and pitching the Jester out in around wood, weed lines, whether it be shallow or deep. But that is the number 1 way I like to fish this bait, and it's because it's really a subtle bait, guys. This bait isn't going to have a lot of action, a lot of flapping, a lot of moving, and because I fish a lot of clear water, that right there gets me a ton of bites. And this is one of my favorite colors, especially around the spawn, the bluegill spawn, and that is watermelon red. All right, geeks, hope you enjoyed this. Listen, that bait is so versatile with what it does. And remember, if you get these and you try them, remember, it is a subtle bait. It's not going to have a whole lot of kick and flap. It's a subtle bait. That's why I love it so much, because I fish a lot of clear water, and anything that's got a whole lot of erratic action to it, it just, bass look at it and see it coming a mile away and be like, oh, that's fake. But anyway, geeks, make sure you go out to JBros, try it. There is a link in the description, so you can go check out the Jester. It comes in a ton of different colors, 2 sizes. Like I said, maybe a 3rd coming. I don't know if I can confirm nor deny that accusation. But, as always, like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you get the notifications when these videos come out. Geeks, there will be 2 videos at the end of this. Stick around, make sure you watch them. They're tailored to what you like to see. All right, as always, you geeks rock.